difference. That's what makes it so vibrant and alive. You see this throughout church history. You see this passionate discussion and debate, all centered around the resurrected Christ. God can handle our questions. God can handle our struggles. God can even handle our disagreements. Are you with me? And that what Jesus comes, if you trace, a friend of mine made a list of all the places where Jesus is asked a question, and there are about 3 places where Jesus actually answers the question in a straightforward manner. Otherwise, he asks a lot of questions. What do you think? How do you read it? Or he says, good question. There was a man who found a treasure in a field. Now, why? Because, and there are a number of places where the disciples were turning to each other and going, I totally didn't get that. And actually, the humanity is our way into the divinity. Jesus has students. He's teaching them, and he knows that for it to be real, you have to own it. For it to stick and be authentic, there's sometimes a bit of wrestling and struggle. So it'd be very easy for me to say, here are the 9 things, here how they line up, just believe them, or you're going to burn. And there are wonderful Christian communities but what Jesus does is he takes a strong stand, he is very clear, and then at all of these different fascinating, enigmatic key moments, he gives you a parable, he gives you a metaphor, he gives you an image. How many of you at a point in your life related to the prodigal son? Yeah. How many of you at times have been the older brother? How many times have any of you ever been the one who blessed somebody and welcomed them home? And how many of you have ever been a villager going, that is one messed up family? So the power of the parable is that it is true at a whole nother level. How many of you have read the parable and go, I do not live in a first century village and wear sandals, so this has nothing to say to me? No, it pulls you in and you find yourself in the story. And so it is true at a profound level. How does that work? And so what Jesus does is he creates these scenes and he invites you to find yourself in it. And as you do it, all sorts of things happen. There's this ancient story about these 3 disciples who would study with their teacher on Friday nights, Sabbath Eve. And their teacher would read from the book of creation each Friday night. And the disciples would listen. And one night the 3 disciples are walking home. And the one says to the other 2, I'm so sorry. It was clear the whole night that the teacher talked to me, and I felt bad because I was kind of hogging the teacher. And the second one says, what are you talking about? I think it was clear to everybody that the teacher talked to me the whole night. And the third one says, no, it is I that should be apologizing to the 2 of you, because I think it was clear to everybody present that the teacher spoke to me the entire night and sort of neglected the 2 of you. And the parable goes like this. And then all 3 fell silent because they realized what has happened. So it is with the words of God, that each person says, the Spirit was speaking directly to me. And perhaps this is the challenge of being a church. This is a challenge of a teacher, preacher, leader, is to create the kind of space and to be so true to the good news that each person hears what they need to hear. Are you with me? Yes, let's do another question. Yes, can I have a question from a female? Okay, you're standing, and so I'm going to pick on her. Hi. I will repeat it, maybe. How do I love my enemies? Not those I hate, but those who hate me. It's hard to do what I do. No, it's easy, it's fun, it's great. Those who want to speak out. I love how you said, how do I, as Rob Bell, love my enemies? I am Rob Bell, so I don't have a choice of like, as Rob Bell. Like, that's funny. My wife actually does refer to there's sort of a public thing. We try to live a very grounded, normal life in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Take my kids to school, pack their lunch, basketball, homework, diapers for my daughter who's about to turn 2. I am owned. This girl has me so wrapped around her finger, it's ridiculous. My wife will refer to the capital R, capital D, like that thing guy out there. First off, when you experience criticism, it is going to shape you. You will either pick up stones and start throwing them, or you will, in your brokenness and pain, and it is breaking, it is painful, ask God to somehow meet you in that pain and shape you into a more Christ-like person. So the past couple of weeks have been the hardest of my life. To be just straight up, just a couple of us good friends in a small room. And it has taken me to a place of profound brokenness where all you have at certain moments. I have wonderful friends, family, wife. Is God, please show me what I need to learn. Please help me turn whatever this is into an opportunity to get more of a glimpse of how you see people and see the world. And then, how can I be the kind of person who blesses others and speaks kindly and highly of them? So, I think that like developmental psychologists talk about stages of grieving. It's like when someone dies. I'm developing my own stages of criticism. There is the kicked in the stomach, can barely see stage, like woozy sort of, they said what? And then there is the angry, like that's the best you can do? Like what? And then there is the sort of analytical, like I pull this apart, I can say that, you know what I mean? And then you sort of move into this place of, all right, it didn't kill me. It might make me stronger. And our culture, and especially Christian culture, sometimes taking a stand means standing between two sides and agreeing and disagreeing in love. And sometimes that can be incredibly evasive, but it's actually sometimes the most courageous stand, is to simply say, you believe this, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a loaf of bread, and we're going to take a cup, and we're going to put it in the middle. And then we're all going to come, and we're going to get down on our knees. We're going to take this bread, and we're going to dip it in this cup. And when we do this, we're going to leave our egos behind, and we're going to leave our agendas behind, and we're going to put Christ at the center, and we're going to acknowledge that before we're right or left or progressive or conservative or whatever we are humans, and Jesus comes, as it says in the scriptures, to bring about a new humanity where our bonds as humans trump all the ways we've cooked up to divide ourselves. And that is the challenge facing the Christian community. And then I would say thirdly, there's this wise teacher in the book of Acts who just says, let it be what it is, and if it's of God, it'll be clear. So the fundamental evaluation that Jesus used was not a category of the intellect and was not a cognitive system of evaluation. Jesus' fundamental mode of evaluation was fruit. Our marriages being healed. Our drug addicts coming clean. Are more people coming to the table and experiencing the mysterious saving work of Christ? And so sometimes we just have to step back and we have to challenge the systems of evaluation.